Your heart is racing at 2 a.m. over absolutely nothing. Not a bill, not a fight, not a real threat, just a low hum of dread that showed up out of nowhere and decided to move in. And the worst part isn't even the anxiety itself. It's that you start wondering if you're losing your mind, because nothing in your life actually changed, except everything inside your body did. I want to walk you through what I've started calling the levels of perimenopause anxiety, because it isn't one thing. It's not a switch that flips from calm to panicked. It's a spectrum, and most of us move through several levels of it, sometimes in the same week, sometimes in the same hour. And once you can actually name where you are on that spectrum, it stops feeling so terrifying, because you realize it has a shape, it has a pattern. It's not just you falling apart for no reason. Level 1 is what I'd call the background hum. This is the low-grade, always there sense that something's a little off. You're not crying, you're not spiraling, but you feel like you're bracing for something, even when everything's fine. So many of you have told me about this exact feeling. Sitting in your car in a parking lot, engine off, just staring, because you needed 30 seconds to reset before walking into work or into your own house. That's level 1. It's subtle enough that you might not even call it anxiety. You might just call it tired or stressed, and blame it on your job or your kids or not sleeping enough. And sometimes those things are part of it. But research suggests that shifting estrogen and progesterone during perimenopause can directly affect the same brain chemistry involved in mood and stress regulation. So even when your actual life circumstances haven't changed, your nervous system's baseline sensitivity can. Level 2 is what I think of as the overreaction spiral. This is where something small happens. Your kid forgets to text you back, your partner sighs the wrong way, an email sits unanswered for 6 hours, and your brain runs straight to the worst-case scenario. I remember getting a slightly short text from a close friend and spending an entire afternoon convinced our friendship was ending. Replaying conversations from months ago looking for proof. It wasn't. She was just busy. But in the moment, it felt completely real, completely urgent, completely true. That's the thing about this level. It doesn't feel irrational from the inside. Many women describe this as their emotional volume knob getting stuck on high, where normal-sized problems get processed at crisis-sized intensity. Level 3 is the physical takeover. This is when anxiety stops being just a thought pattern and starts showing up in your body before your mind even catches up. Racing heart, tight chest, that feeling like you've had 4 coffees when you haven't had any. Some women describe waking up already anxious, like their body started the panic before they were even conscious enough to think a worried thought. This is one of the more disorienting levels, because it can genuinely feel like a health emergency the first few times it happens. Many women end up in urgent care or the ER during this stage, heart monitors and all, only to be told everything looks normal. And it is worth taking seriously and ruling things out with a doctor. That part matters. But once other causes are ruled out, this pattern is something a lot of women in perimenopause report, and it's tied to how fluctuating hormones interact with your nervous system's stress response, including cortisol. Level 4 is the identity questioning level, and honestly, I think this one is the hardest to talk about, because it's less visible. This is where you start wondering who you even are anymore. You used to be the calm one, the one your friends called when they were spiraling, and now you're the one who can't get through a grocery store without feeling overwhelmed. There's grief in that, a quiet kind of grief for the version of yourself that felt steady. I've talked to women who said they felt like they were watching themselves from the outside, thinking, this isn't who I am. And I want to be really clear about something here. This isn't a character flaw, and it isn't you becoming a more anxious person permanently. It's your internal chemistry shifting underneath you, and your sense of self trying to catch up. Level 5 is the one nobody warns you about, and I think it deserves its own conversation, but I'll name it here. This is when anxiety starts blending with anger. Not the classic nervous, worried kind of anxious, but a simmering irritability that feels like it could boil over at any second. Some women describe feeling like a different person entirely during this phase, short-tempered, in ways that don't match their personality at all. If that's you, I promise you're not alone in it, and it's worth exploring on its own, because it often gets missed entirely when people talk about perimenopause and mood. Here's what I want you to take from all of this. These levels aren't a diagnosis, and they're not a strict ladder you're supposed to climb one at a time. You might feel like you're solidly in level 1 for months, and then get slammed into level 3 out of nowhere with zero warning. That unpredictability is part of what makes this stage so disorienting. But understanding that there's a pattern, that this has a name, that other women are living through the exact same thing, that alone tends to lower the anxiety a little, just from feeling less alone in it. If any of this sounds familiar, I really want you to hear this. You are not broken, and you are not imagining things. Your body is going through a massive hormonal transition, and your brain is along for that ride whether it wants to be or not. Talking to your doctor, especially one who actually understands perimenopause, can make a real difference, and there are options worth exploring, from lifestyle shifts, to hormone therapy, to targeted mental health support. You don't have to just white-knuckle your way through this. If this video helped put words to something you've been feeling and couldn't explain, do me a favor and subscribe, because this channel exists, so you don't have to Google your symptoms alone at midnight wondering what's wrong with you. I'm planning to go deeper into that anger and rage piece next, because I think it's one of the most misunderstood parts of this whole transition, and after that we're going to talk about what actually helps. Not just the theory, but the real, practical stuff. So stick around, because we're just getting started, and you deserve real answers, not just reassurance that it's probably nothing.